right, we're live. That's the most creative intro I've ever had for a show, right? That's all I got for this so far. Yeah. But we're just getting started with Ironcast. We were supposed to have the premiere episode last night, but we had some heavy rain here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I was out of internet for like the first hour that we would have done the show. So starting this week, but going forward next week, we're going to be on Tuesdays and Saturday, or Tuesdays and Thursdays, the 2 days that start with T. All right. Yeah, that's right. Tuesdays and Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. PST. I'm your host, Darren Oxide, and I've got you'll notice it's a smaller panel show, and we're going to try to stay on some serious topics, but still have some fun. I'm joined by my co-host, Theo Snodgrass. What's going on, Theo?
What's up, buddy? Happy to be here. It is raining a lot more than I thought it would. There's a bunch of standing water in my backyard.
Yeah.
My cat's furious.
Yeah, our dogs aren't too happy about it. They're going back out. They're going outside to go to the bathroom and coming back in pissed off. But their dog. That's the thing here. If it rain, we go months and months with no rain or clouds whatsoever, and then once we get a little bit of rain, it floods. But that's also, one of the downfalls of having an entire homeless community that lives in the tunnels and drain ditches underneath the city. That's a real thing. Look it up. They dam off the the flooding system. So instead, Theo gets standing water in his backyard and an angry cat to deal with. But we're here, so it's good. Emerald, producer extraordinaire. What's going on, man?
Well, the only reason why my cat's upset is because he just lost his balls yesterday. So other than that, I'm doing great.
All right. In the immortal words of the long gone Barker, you're doing your job, right?
Yeah. I'm making sure to spay and neuter my pets.
There you go. Not me. It's expensive and I want puppies someday. So we're gonna spay the little one because don't want more of her. No more Butters. My wife is watching. She's furious, but that's okay. Butters sucks.
I think I hear her from the other room.
I think, just for the record, I think it'd be great if we had more Butters, and if Butters were immortal, and if Butters puppies were immortal. I think that would be great.
Shut the fuck up. All right, joining us last minute, Von Coleman. What's going on, man? You been keeping on top of the news?
I mean, no. Not at all, to be honest with you. I saw, so hold on, let me think of what the latest news. I mean, a commie won in my neighboring city. That was unfortunate. And then after
an
that,
Islamic commie on that.
Yeah, and on top of that, 84% of women in my age demographic voted. So that's unfortunate news for me. I was in New York City at one point. And I was looking at this girl at the bar. I was like, she's cute. And I'm like, 84%. And I kind of just didn't make a move. I'm like, I've had enough.
Aren't you co-writing a book called I Can Fix Her?
What are you doing? The joke is, well, that's where, I've had enough. Right. Maybe some women, but, depends. Oh, I did see, have you guys heard of Slam Frank? All right, so Iron, you have to check this out. So it's Slam, how like they keep race swapping characters in media, and there was like Hamilton and whatever. So Slam Frank is Anne Frank, except she's Latina, and the whole cast is race swap. And I watched it. I watched the play of it. It's so it is hysterical. So the mom is black for no reason, the dad is gay, the other people in the attic, it's like everyone is a different ethnicity, and there's like,
but are they doing the actual play, or did they change the story?
They changed the story, of course, to be more. It's more about everyone finding their identity while hiding in the attic from the Nazis.
Oh no!
It is unhinged. I can't recommend it enough. It was so good. It was so funny.
The funniest part it's probably a Jewish play producer. This is like, yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
Real intellectual New York.
It's funny. It's like, so it's all done ironically, to clarify. Like, the whole thing is a satire. Like, it's making fun of it. Oh, I guess I didn't clarify that. Yeah, it's making fun of you did. Yeah, it's making fun of
I think what makes it a really smart satire is that a lot of time in the press release leading up to the film, people couldn't tell if he was being serious or not. which is the side of a really good satire. They actually couldn't tell.
So even in person.
Yeah, a lot of people were like, a lot of people were criticizing. A lot of people thought it was fake too. They didn't think it was a real show. That was a lot of the discussion, as well, as whether or not the show was real. Turns out,
okay. All right, now you might. Oh my God, I'm just looking up pictures of it. This is hilarious, man.
Yeah, so I want it goes like everywhere where you're like they're not gonna go there. No, it goes.
Oh my God! So it's almost like the Book of Mormon that Trey Parker did back.
I've seen Book of Mormon. It's funnier than Book of Mormon. Like it was so goddamn funny. I saw it's like in a small theater. But yeah, I got to talk to some of the cast. It's great. Like we hung out after, and I'll send you just this. Here, if you want to play this real quick, I think your audience would appreciate this.
Okay, where are you sending it to me? Are you just gonna share your screen?
Private chat. I can share my screen.
Okay.
Yeah, screw it. I'll share my screen.
I'm just pulling up an image from it right now. This is great.
Yeah, I'll share my screen. Here we go. Whenever you're ready.
Oh my God. How did I not hear about this?
I don't know.
Okay.
But it's so good. All right, here we go. Oh, yeah.
And Frank. And this one, and this one, and this one. What do all of these actors have in common? They're all white. Our world has been getting more and more diverse, but our Holocaust narratives have not been able to keep up until now. I've created a new musical called Slam Frank that combines hip-hop, spoken word poetry, and mucho diversity so that we can have a version of this story that is prescient and relevant to future generations. We're going to be giving a concert premiere of it in Los Angeles this March, so subscribe here and on my Instagram for song clips, sneak previews, and more. Stay tuned.
So that was posted like earlier in the year, and it's so funny. Man. Like he'll go so far into it. He'll be like I think there was a post that was like, "This is the worst thing to happen to Anne Frank," and like, how can you say that? She was, and he goes, and they reply, how can you say that? She was in an attic with cis men.
Oh fuck! That's so good. See, you had me. What's funny is I actually bought it at first when you told me what you saw. I thought it was just like oh no, really? That's horrible. How insulting! Now that I know it's a parody, I'm stoked.
It's so fucking funny. Like
I really think the dude's putting on that gay play producer voice. He's laid it on thick, and I'm here for it. It's working. Probably when he talked. All right, how was that? Was it funny? Fuck yeah, it was funny. All right, that's a great way to start the show, though, since we're going to be going into a little more heavy topics. Let's say hi to the chat real quick, see what we got. We got Sammy Three-Piece here. He might be joining us shortly, since one of the stories is affect right around at least his state. I don't know how close he is to
I can tell you.
We got Screen Queen Selena.
I can tell you I can tell you exact mileage for him. No.
Oh no shit.
No. I know.
Hey, everyone, please smash the like button, all that. Thank you, Selena. We'll move on. So, we got Diana. How's it going, Diana? We got Blue Eyed Scorpio. What is up, man? We got the Master Hobo. Greetings from the homeless shelter. It's raining everywhere, even at my shelter. Well, hopefully your shelter is not in the tunnels underneath Las Vegas. We got Full Metal Nate in the crowd. What's going on, man? Yeah, I hope you get off work safe, and you can either chill out in the chat or pop in if you like. Got Roguish Nerd here. What's going on, Roguish? Oh, there we go. Hey, leave Butters alone. No, Butters sucks.
I think Butters is incredibly cute and charming. She's an amazing dog. And very photogenic.
Right, you're just trying to cause trouble in my mind. That's cool.
That doesn't even sound like something I would do, first of all.
Fresh from the DUI incident is Vaughn Coleman himself. Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah, I
hope you got a good lawyer.
I was so drunk, I forgot about that incident.
We got Vagabond. What's going on, Vagabond? And I think we're all caught up after that. Devastator's here. What's going on, Devastator? And I think we're all set. All right. So I'm glad you brought up the recent election in New York, Vaughn, because
I'm not.
There's well, a couple things, because right now it is the left's really bizarre alignment with Islamic ideology. You know, we've been seeing it all summer with the protests at colleges over things that these kids couldn't possibly understand. But now it's starting to make a whole lot of sense when there's an activist group, or a civil rights group rather, at least that's what they claim to be, kind of paying for it. And recently, Greg Abbott in Texas took the first step and declared the Muslim Brotherhood and Chair, which is the group I was just talking about. Think the what is it? APCA. What is that one group?
APAC.
Theo, you probably know.
APAC.
Yeah, think of them, but exclusively civil rights group for the Islamic and Muslim communities, which on paper sounds like, well, that's fine. So you know what they're really all about. Well, they've been recently declared a terrorist organization along with the Muslim Brotherhood.
Well, one of their chairs of CARE has come out in support of the Intifada and Jihad. So that's the CARE group right there.
Exactly. Now, here's the other thing, because I just mentioned about the protests. So it didn't take a brain surgeon to figure this shit out. I mean, everybody knew they were getting their money from somewhere to fund all the protests, but Muslim group chair cutting $1,000 checks for anti-Israel agitators who have been disciplined by colleges. So they've been deeply involved with everything we saw going on all summer. Yeah. So let me get to Abbott's thing.
Dude, most people are fucking NPCs. I'm not even kidding.
Yes.
Yeah. They're trying to act like they know something about a situation that they couldn't possibly understand. They don't live in that part of the world. They don't share those cultural beliefs. They don't understand that it's been going on for ever. And it's their main idea. They pick sides based on identity politics and who can they decide is the bigger victim in this situation. And they qualify that with everything from who's darker. Well, the Palestinians clearly have a darker complexion. That already ups the ante. They're poorer, but they don't understand the ideology behind it and why they. Now, I'm not saying all Palestinians, but they definitely. Hamas has a huge support group within Palestine. That's how they gained powers, because the amount of support amongst their people. I mean, is it starting to slip? Hopefully. But right now, you're even seeing counter protests about the ceasefire. There are a bunch of college girls crying because they don't want a ceasefire. Well, what do you want?
Well, yeah, they derive their opinions from consensus, right? So,
right.
But so they're not thinking about whether or not their opinion is reasonable or whether or not it's logical or what the consequences of the opinion are. They're just going based on the opinion that they feel like they're supposed to have that matches their peers, right? And that's free Palestine. That's the opinion that matches their peers. They don't actually know anything, but it's also not important that they know anything. Like, it doesn't matter if they know anything or not. That's the right opinion to have socially.
That is one of the main things with like cult-like behavior in general. I would see it at college, where people are more concerned with doing stuff that's right, that even if it means it doesn't make sense. Like, so much of this, I remember pushing back, and I was like, why is it like, even with the Sydney Sweeney's great genes thing, I'm like, why? Hang on. If anyone else with any other complexion aside from mine says they have great genes, it's fine. But if I say it, I have a problem. And it's like, you can't ask these questions, or else, well, you might be a Nazi, might agree with your viewpoint. Okay, a black supremacist
Michael Jordan has great genes.
Yeah, someone else might agree with yours. Okay, just because a bad person agrees with me on a take doesn't make the take horrendous.
Right.
It's ridiculous. And most people implicitly know this, but most people are so afraid and insecure, and they want to be accepted by daddy or mommy, that they'll just
the collective.
Yeah, it's people just crave validation.
Right.
And that's why people with conviction tend to cave less to these ideologies. People with more confidence. It preys on the weak.
It's preying on the weak for the sheer fact that, for those that maybe listen to Glenn Beck or don't, he warned about the grouping together of communists, socialists, Islamists, all coming together because of the collectivism of it. But then in the end, it's going to backfire completely on them, because eventually they're going to fracture too when they see that their ideologies are actually, in the end, not compatible.
They are not compatible at all.
Right. Now, when you saw like trans getting attacked and things like that, they were looking at the Muslims and going, we supported you. Why aren't you guys supporting us now? It's because they're not.
They don't understand.
They don't understand.
No, and I think a lot of it is the left wants to be as anti-religion and pro-atheist as possible, but they'll still support religions that they feel that they fit that oppression criteria, and that's where Chair really manipulated it in the West, especially by making. They're pretty much coined the phrase Islamophobia shortly after 9/11. There's no fucking such thing. It's a made up word. But if they're more, they couldn't pick a religion or ideology that is more incompatible with the basis of most of their, let's just say their actual like decent, real like regular good agreements. If you're gay, you're gay. That's fine. This, that, women should have equal rights. Let's take it to the most minimal of less leftist ideology, or even just traditional liberalism. Still not compatible at all whatsoever.
But it is kind of okay. So this is where the cosplay that kind of goes on when leftist women protest Trump and they wear the Handmaid's Tale. Yet they're sitting there supporting, and actually religion and being on the side that's going to literally put them in hijabs and burqas.
Yep.
I mean,
well, and we've seen this happen before, and a lot of Iranian immigrants or people that fled Iran or their parents did, and now they're they grew up here. A lot of them are sounding off the alarm. They started doing that after Mandami, but they're really doing it now with what's going on with Texas and in Michigan. Saying, look, we're moderate Muslim with it, their family still practices the religion in the most compatible sense, but what's Google Chrome trying to tell me? Get out of here. But they say no one in the West even understands or wants to live in a fully Islamic state. It is, they don't even want to live there. So like, I'm trying to, what's the main thing here? Sorry, the pop-up just took my eye, whatever I was talking about, and made it all go away. That's my attention span this evening. I get, try Google Gemini for free, and like took up half my screen for a second.
Oh, I always decline.
And it's like my brain just went whoop, gone, fucking gone. Anyway, anybody else want to chime in on their opinions on the? Oh yeah, now I know what I was going back to. Iran. That's how we have already seen that. How they manipulated the leftist ideology to gain power. And then what did they do after that? Because you see the college girls in the 70s waving the flags and all thinking that they're going to live in a communist utopia run by the very moderate ruling class of Muslims. It did not happen that way. Nope.
And then you had the Ayatollah Khomeini that then took over and essentially runs all of Iran. And then essentially restricted women and lived by Sharia. And so now women are second-class citizens in the country, have no rights. I mean, and yet you have the left that's sitting here waving flags and all in support of it, not even knowing, because again, this I think also comes to the educational system. Along with the indoctrination, along with ignorance. Useful idiots. It's what the Marxists played on and used greatly during the People's Revolution in Russia to form the USSR. Useful idiots.
It's the same playbook, and they don't learn ever.
No.
And they won't. And it's because it's you know, and I've learned a lot about human nature from this, and just why people will fall for a lot of the same stuff. And a lot of people are guilty of it. You know, it comes down to, it's not even necessarily just politics. It comes down to, you put a lot of pressure on someone to conform to beliefs, because you always look at history and go, well, how did people fall for this? And it's usually a lot of the same stuff. And I tend to notice, even just in my personal life, women are absolutely more susceptible to social pressure than men. I'm sorry. I'm not saying men aren't, but most of the time when men are susceptible to social pressure, it's because they're trying to get laid with women.
Yeah.
You know,
those are the weak men too. They won't stand by their ideals and let them stand on their own 2 feet. They're this, what do you call them, Theo? The sneaky fuckers?
Yeah, like how many men do you know? Like, I've known guys that were like fairly bait or even just normal that got with a girl and then they slowly just going, yeah, well, as it's because they just, whether it's their job, their job or the girl they're with or whatever, you know, it's the lack of conviction that kind of just, and I think that's ultimately what it is most people in general don't have that much conviction, which is why people are always looking to leaders. And I think people that are weaker tend to look to leaders, and they'll look to people like this fucking guy in New York, you know? People are always, or they look to their professors. They look to authority. They look to whoever. And that's
a
where
good
cults come in.
Because I think your generation and even the one before it were, conviction was something that they were really trying to fucking work out of, especially male children from an early age. They want them to be completely compliant. And then when they do get a little bit of rebellion or try to start looking for, like you said, that leader, they're not looking in the right places. That's why we got fucking Nick Fuentes here saying, don't read the Bible, listen to me.
Yeah, Nick Fuentes is a cult leader. There's a lot of people that are cult leaders.
He's either a cult leader or he's just a controlled opposition, or a little of both.
Well, when you look at
the CIA didn't install cult leaders, like, let's be real here.
Absolutely.
Whether he's a glowy or not,
you're talking my language, baby.
You know, I mean, you look at, because I think one of the things that really opened my eyes, and I've used this, and I'm going to keep using this guy for several villains, and I cite him regularly in my everyday life. Jim Jones is one of the most evil people I think to have ever walked the earth. I genuinely believe that. And if you look into the history, is the drink the Kool-Aid? I heard that, and I finally looked into the history and how things got to that point. And it's like, once you learn that and you kind of extrapolate that's an extreme scenario, but you see examples of that kind of thing in everyday life all the time. So he would take people that were like felt disenfranchised in one way or another. I'm the only solution to that problem. Every time someone else comes up with it, it's a problem. Or if there's people that are by your side, you hold favors over their head. Like, he would bust people out to vote for Harvey Milk, and then he'd hold it over his head in office, like, hey, remember, my people are why you won this election. Just saying, you know, and that's how cult leaders work.
Yeah, they prey on the weak, the most mentally weak people that might not even be that mentally weak on a regular basis, but maybe they're just going through a hard time, and they know how to manipulate the situation to get in with people. Yes. So whoever your sister is, she's absolutely right. Cult stuff is completely fascinating to me. All right. I want to read this press release real quick. This is from Governor Greg Abbott in Texas. Dear Secretary Nelson, pursuant to his powers as governor of the state of Texas, Greg Abbott has issued the following: a proclamation designating the Muslim Brotherhood and chair as foreign terrorist transnational criminal organizations under the Texas Penal and Texas Property Codes. The original proclamation is attached to the letter of mission or transmittal, whatever it says. Anyway, so the best part about this is it's going to prevent these two groups from being able to invest, even through other buyers. They're going to be unable to invest in property in Texas, so they can't buy land, period. And that's, if you know what's been going on in Texas, they're really trying to turn that into the next Michigan, or even on a bigger scale. They had an entire city that would be exclusively Muslim only, with their own court system, their own police, everything, right there, and right in the heart of freaking Texas. And if they put, even though that would probably not be that big, you look at it and you think, well, that's just that it would grow out of control in a matter of a few years. And aside from it automatically flipping the state from red to blue, because they're going to vote Democrats because the Democrats are the useful idiots, it's going to make Texas unrecognizable.
A lot of what is stemming this from is the reports, and they found out that local judges were using Sharia.
Yes.
Yep. So this is what is really kind of prompting all of this. But rightfully so. I mean, the Muslim Brotherhood was already deemed a terrorist organization in Egypt.
Yes.
And booted them.
And the fact that we finally had one state, luckily the biggest state with the most, obvious problem coming their way doing this. It's time for this to happen on a federal level. I know that God, what's his name? The other guy from Texas, Ted Cruz. He's already on board drafting up paperwork, but this needs to be done and should have been done a long time ago. I think now, after all the bullshit we've gone through over the past summer with the protests and everything else, I think a lot of people are going to start waking up to this. It's a big problem. And where do we stand as a country? We are a country with religious freedom, but where do we draw the line when it comes to, what's a religion and what is an ideology?
Oh, well, the other thing too is so religious freedom is a Christian principle. So it's the idea that everybody can worship freely is that works in Christian majority societies. It doesn't work in Muslim majority societies. It doesn't work. So it's cool if some of them are here, but when they become the majority in an area, it just changes the culture.
Mm-hmm.
So that's,
you can walk through other cultures don't have no-go zones. You know what I'm saying? You can go, like religious cultures, you can go into a predominantly Buddhist area, Jewish neighborhoods, no problem. Go to the deli and hang out. You can go to fucking Catholic areas. You can go to Baptist, all the different Christian, not even Mormons are a pleasure to be around. Just good luck getting a fucking drink. But they don't explicitly block outsiders. You try and go in Dillborn until they had the protest, which we're going to talk about now. People would go there and try to report on it, and the police force would escort them out of town. And you're seeing it on a bigger scale in Europe, when Paris has several no-go zones, UK. But go ahead, Emmer.
So being a person that was born, raised, and grew up in Michigan and have a lot of family still in Michigan, Dearborn, Michigan is also referred to as Dearbornistan. And which Sammy can attest to, but Dearbornistan is pretty bad there with the high Muslim population and the Muslim takeover of the city council and everything like that. So it's. And on top of that, they just recently found election fraud that I think happened around that area.
Oh, absolutely. And, for a long time, it used to be. I'm not sure what the numbers are now, but it used to have the highest Middle Eastern population outside of the Middle East.
Highest in the U.S. It is the highest concentration in the U.S.
Yes. For the most part, they're pretty quiet. They keep to themselves, but like then every now and then you'll see like one of those crazy ass parades going down the street, and you're like, ugh, that's in my backyard. Yikes.
The call to prayer.
No, look, the call to prayer. A lot of people are up in arms about that because they got the speakers facing outward, and they're like, well, what's the difference between that and church bells? And it was like, because church bells go off during business hours. Okay.
Not at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And they're brief. They don't last long. They're not that fucking loud.
Yep.
No.
It's weird though. Like if you drive through it in a lot of places, it's like a ghost town. You don't see a lot of people on the street. I know what was that reporter's name who was like on the scene where he said he felt like he's in a different country. It does. It really does.
And you gotta automatically assume that whole population is ripe with immigration fraud too. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I guarantee that the population of that town would be cut in less than half if they went in and audited the shit out of all of them. But the question is, well, and I'm all for like the deportations when they're going after gang members, criminals, all that. But I mean, that you'd think this would take a lot of attention too, especially since it was so intentional. They were intentionally implanted there by, was it the Obama administration that started doing that?
Oh, I mean, Dearborn's been Middle Eastern since the Clinton.
Oh, really? It goes back that far?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've been calling it Hebe Town forever. I know that's what they call it. Like,
west side of Michigan calls it Dearbornistan.
Yeah, Dearbornistan, Hebe Town. Where else? I mean, because we do have like areas in Detroit. Like the Polish primarily were in Hamtramck, and now they're being displaced because Hamtramck is so close to Dearborn, and that's the thing too. Like the Mexicans usually stayed in Mexican Town and everything. It was like, but Dearborn seems to be growing. And now they're displacing like other people, and a lot of people just get out, just leave because they don't want to deal with them. And it sucks because especially in Polish Town, that's good eating, man. But yeah, it's alarming. But I know there was one time my band was like playing a show kind of like close by, and we were gonna get like just like a pint of Jack Daniels or something. It was like there's like no liquor stores. There's it's odd. It feels like driving through the Twilight Zone.
Well, and they kind of do any area where they start to establish, a stronghold. It doesn't matter if the stores or restaurant have been there longer than they have. That's when they start trying to shove them out. I mean, they're even doing this in Japan. They're trying to. They lined up in front of a pork shop joint. If you ever had, the whatever they call it, the pork tetsu or something, shit's bomb. But they were lined up doing their prayers and protesting and trying to put this place. It's a staple in Japan that's been this little smaller town area outside of Tokyo forever. And it's like, if you're going to another country, you have to adapt, be tolerant. We'll just use that word of everyone else's belief. Not everyone's going to believe that, eating pork is haram or drinking alcohol is bad, or, we should cover boobs completely.
So speaking of which, in that case, Sammy, do you want to open up a barbecue place right in the middle of Dearborn? We sell beer, pulled pork.
$1 million idea,
right. Hold on. Let me play devil's advocate a little bit. Have you guys thought about the positives of the Muslim takeover?
No, because there are
Okay.
none. But
I
do
know
go on.
there are. Hear me out.
I know where he's going.
No women drivers for
There
one.
we go.
Also, I do feel like women have been very loud lately.
Okay. No, they do drive, and they drive with that shit on their head, so they have no peripheral vision.
That's crazy.
No, it's fucking insane.
That's irresponsible.
It was like, oh, who's cutting me off in that champagne-colored Nissan? Who could it possibly fucking be? But another thing too is they were trying to like branch out, and I don't live downtown anymore. I live in the burbs, and they wanted to build a mosque out by me, and like I wish I could find that city council meeting because people were going fucking insane. But they found out where the land was, and they started a farmer buried a pig on the land to try and desecrate it, like he had like the cheat code. They ended up like leaving because they wanted to build a mosque, and then like a couple blocks down they wanted a gated community, and everyone was just like fuck no, like go to Dearborn, like that's where you go. We're not doing this shit anywhere else. And but we were joking when the guy buried the pig. It was like when they discovered like the code on how to like take down the ships in Independence Day. It was like we know how to drop them. We know how to.
Oh man, that's wild. So okay, we know where we stand now on the panel. So most everybody is general consensus of extreme Islamic ideology bad. Theo, on the other hand, female subjugation good.
I'm saying I'm trying to like look at the positives. It's not all bad. I'm trying to welcome.
All right, fucking
I got to ask Theo real quickly.
Yeah.
Where were you about 10 years ago? Were you anywhere near New Jersey? I believe it was. Where posters were put up, I think it was in New Jersey, that said Islam is right about women.
I didn't see that. I never saw that.
There was
it's a legendary internet thing that happens. The poster just said Islam is right about women, and they were like, "You have to take this down. It's offensive." And it's like, why?
Yeah,
it's a catch-22 for a woke
Muslims, person. It's not. You're not being very inclusive, ma'am.
So.
Yeah, I'm saying let's look at the positives. Like, I'm not a Debbie Downer like you. I'm not, somebody who has to look at the glass half empty. I'm a positive guy. And if the Muslims are going to take over, I'm just saying some of these women would be easier to deal with. That's what I'm saying. Just as someone who's in the streets.
Hopefully not in any bridges and tunnels.
Let me bring this up. So, Sammy, you're close to this. What'd you think of the protests that went on? Was it this weekend?
I think it was either yesterday.
Feel stupid.
Sorry,
yesterday, and I think all the way through the morning. I mean, normally everyone just avoids that area like the plague anyway. So unless you're driving through it, it's one of those things. Like, I'll walk around downtown Detroit. I will not walk around in Dearborn. Like, it's just.
You think it's just the general fatigue of that area and everything going on there, or that it's starting to expand out of the area, or just overall frustration?
Yeah, there's an overall frustration where they are starting to branch out. Like, when they stuck to their own, and you realize it was kind of like a homogenous zone. Like, we didn't really care much because it was just like, hey, they're different, who cares, like,
right,
they're keeping to themselves. And I was like, no, now you're doing that shit with the call to prayer, and you're looking to like branch out, and now you're actually displacing like other ethnic groups, although like by these standards today, like Polish people are white people. It's just they're getting out of there because they don't want to deal with it. It was like you're walking down the street and eating a hot dog, and some guy pulls you aside and go like, hey, you should be doing that. And you're like, who the fuck are you? Like, like I wasn't asking for any life advice, sir. I'm guessing Muhammad, whatever were the fucking 5 names that you guys pick over and over and over again. But it's yeah, it's annoying, but also a lot of people like me kind of like disagreed. Like if you went to a church and burned a Bible, like you're gonna get some kickback, right? Like you're not going to go to the heart of this and burn the Quran and be like, oh my God, they're so violent. And I was like, well, yeah, you're burning their sacred book in front of a bunch of Muslims. Like, what did you think was going to happen? So yeah,
Right.
it's dumb. The whole thing was dumb. The whole and the speech that the guy made downtown was absolutely retarded. Where it went from. There was a couple guys said things that I agree with, where it was like, hey, this is America. Everybody should be able to practice what they want. Just because you practice Islam doesn't mean that I can't practice Christianity. We can't get along. I'm all for that. But then you had the one guy talking about the what is it, like the great white replacement, and it was like, dude, like you're setting the whole movement back, man. Shut up, like stop.
Yeah.
As soon as you bring race into it, because now every leftist reporter is going to go white supremacists, dogs on Muslims.
It's going to be the new tiki torch fiasco.
Yep. When you could have had a valid point about all this stuff, and which was they were trying to do. Instead, you had Billy Bob racist hijacking the whole damn thing and making a fool out of himself.
Oh man. And I think a lot of the panic though is also stemmed from Europe, because Europe's in a lot of trouble with this shit.
They're
in a lot of trouble. And if maybe if they had a Billy Bob of their own, maybe it wouldn't have got that far. But
they got Tommy Robinson.
That's true. Now, Tommy Robinson actually said, I don't really disagree with anything he says. He's making all of his points are pretty valid. He's a little heavy-handed, I think, but other than that, I'm all, makes sense. But let's see. I haven't watched this clip. It's just I was pulling up clips from the whole thing. I'm not 100% familiar with it, so we're just gonna take a look.
Feel stupid because they are stupid. All right. Sir, why is he not welcome on a public sidewalk?
Get the camera out of my face. Get that camera out of my face, or else.
Oh, he looks like he belongs in Dearborn, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's another thing too. Is when everyone avoids things like this because when you announce that these people show up, and I think he's the one who maces whatever the guy's camera, whoever the reporter is.
Phone right here. Is this his phone? All right, guys, he just got pepper sprayed for attacking and assaulting someone. No, you're not gonna get your phone. Actually, you get it. There you go. There we go. Yep.
Oh boy.
Come on in.
No! Disgusting fuck pepper spray. No! Fucking pepper spray. What do you do? Everybody back up. I got his phone.
Well, let's see what else.
It's the loving and tolerant.
Muslims are allowed to do whatever they want with impunity.
Yeah, watch this one. This guy sucker punches him.
Haley, you're super tight. I was bear spray or pepper sprayed, OC sprayed, whatever. Jake got sprayed. They didn't do anything. He just got punched in the face, and an officer watched it, did nothing.
I think it's this guy right here.
Yeah,
he's the one that kind of puts his foot in his mouth.
That black, yeah. That and also they just discovered that like he's like a gay Jew. He's got like he's at like the Wailing Wall, and he's got like the box on his head with like the full like wrap around, and he's like crying in front of the Wailing Wall, and was like, I mean, that's weird. But another thing is that black guy, he's like a Detroit influencer. That guy's cool as fuck.
Okay, and he was here for kind of supporting this movement.
Yeah, I think he spoke at the town hall as well and said basically like, hey, like I get behind, I say I love my country. You guys call me like an Uncle Tom. You call me this, you call me that. Like, you guys are the actual racists, and like this is America. Like he was cool. And I guess he just got banned off of Instagram for having some pretty base takes about the relationship between black people and Jews. So like the he's also kind of out there. So everybody kind of here, besides the dude who was walking up in the front, what was Nick something, like he seemed to be the one actually like being a reporter and being non-biased. And I mean, and they were still taking pot shots at him too. So
they're all masked up. They say go to the station later. If this isn't Sharia police, I don't know what is. They just watched Jake get hit in the head, did nothing. They gave him, punched him right in the face. This is absolutely insane.
Oh, so it must have been just after.
At least they're refraining from saying they will not replace you.
Oh no, that is another thing that's really fucking funny is why they were chanting things. They ran out of like things to chant, so they just started chanting things that like had nothing to do, like no Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA, and I was like, that has
all that bullshit.
Nothing to do. Yeah, but like they ran out of stuff to chant, so they had to go back to the classics.
My favorite is hey, hey, ho, ho, your protests are getting old.
It's like, dude, you're a gay Jew. Well, it's okay.
I can see it now. The night they mention it,
I'll find the picture. It's fucking wild. Like he's legit like a gay Jewish guy.
Yeah, he's holding a cross. That I think. All right. Maybe he's a Messianic Jew.
Mm-hmm. All right, I think that's about all the fun highlight reels. Let's see. It's surrounding it. I think this is a counter protester getting surrounded. No.
By the way,
yeah, that's the only time someone got arrested.
Just this is important though. I wanted to bring this up because you guys made a really good point that you kind of can't talk about these issues honestly without someone calling you a racist. I want you to know them calling you a racist is part of the strategy. That's just a strategy to shut you up. They know you're not a racist actually.
But the problem is they've overused it though. So the fact that most people now are like, okay, and it really doesn't mean a whole lot to me anymore because you constantly are calling us that.
And it sucks because now there's people that can like hang out in the open that I would consider racist, but they could just be in public now. And, you know, I have to like share that's public space with them. And there's nothing you can do.
They've actually done the racists so many favors. They don't even realize how much
they've created most of them.
I've warned people like this all the time. You know, the pendulum's going to swing the other way. There's always going to be backlash. And anytime someone has
my liberal friends, I'm like, you guys are creating your like the actual Nazis you've been whining about. Like you're creating them.
Yeah, like you are because
again, because
guys like Nick
people.
Fuentes.
Getting back to that, weak-willed people, disenfranchised people. They will go to people like Nick Fuentes when they're not when Charlie Kirk got killed. They're gonna be like, all right, well, if you're gonna call me a Nazi anyway, might as well go over there.
Me and Theo were talking this before a while back, not on a stream or anything, just bullshit. But yeah, they're gonna look for some. You're gonna have a generation of kids that think Nick Fuentes is a pussy. They want somebody fucking harder.
Oh yeah,
and that person might actually happen, and that's a really fucked up thought.
I warn my liberal friends all the time. I was like, dude, you keep crying wolf with this. Like, there are actual Nazis, all right? And, you know, when you run into them, they're not going to want to discuss policy, dude. Like, if they're going to kill you. And maybe it's because you've been calling me a Nazi for the last 10 years. I got no problem if we put these people in camps and systematically,
in a Minecraft server.
Yeah, on Minecraft. No.
They're just gonna have to figure out a way because obviously all of our views are wrong, and we're just gonna have to like gather in a place possibly, and you almost like a camp, and then at that camp they're gonna teach you things, or we already know re-educate. So I mean, maybe like a fun re-educational summer camp.
I think it's crazy. remember, the stuff that they accuse you of wanting to do to them is the stuff that they would do if they had the power to do it.
Absolutely.
It's what they would do to you if they could. That's what they're scared you're going to do.
Because they already are.
Yeah.
They already are killing people. They already are committing acts of terrorism. They already are destroying property. They already are trying to weaponize lawfare against their political opponents, silence free speech.
And if they start being nice to us, that's because, and it's a weird thing too, like for me to call myself like leaning conservative, because I'm really not. It's crazy how bad things are, but it's like ultimately that's where most people are going to find themselves. And then things are going to switch back and we're going to have to deal with this mess all over again. Because people couldn't learn just basic empathy. Because people are so far left that things are going to swing. Like I'm seeing a lot of shit on the right that's very concerning. And it's like the left keeps doubling down on all the same dumb shit. All of it. They have learned.
And what's crazy?
Nothing.
Have you seen the push to make Nick Fuentes a celebrity in the mainstream media?
Yeah.
They've just article after article after article
Dude,
published, and they use this isn't. By the way, this is not a good-looking man. This guy is very dumpy. He's very effeminate looking. They found the hottest, most Chad picture of Nick Fuentes wearing Ray-Bans, and they made it white and black, and they just plastered it everywhere. He's got 5 o'clock shadow. This man has never looked this fuckable in real life. Ever. They punch up this picture to make him hot, like they're trying to sexualize a serial killer. And then they spread it everywhere. They're like, is Nick Fuentes fucking awesome? You be the judge. Like, I'm telling you, it's crazy. The attempt, this is the same shit that happened to Andrew Tate, where they blew him up so big that he became the less favorite boogeyman, and then he became kind of like cringe and a parody of himself. You know, I think Nick Fuentes is right in that cycle right now where he's become the media's new favorite boogeyman. I remember the first time I saw Andrew Tate was on the Fresh and Fit podcast back when like nobody had ever heard of him. It was just this weird guy in a turtleneck, and he was on the couch cuddling a pit bull. And it was labeled the king of toxic masculinity. And I looked at that and I was like, what a dork. And then I kept scrolling and I didn't think about it again. I was like, well, that guy's obviously a dork. And then I kept moving, right? Like, it is the media that created this monster.
He dresses like a gay James Bond villain.
It's like they don't like, you know, and you try and explain that to them, and I'm sorry, a lot of the left really is a cult. Like you try and explain this to them, and they're so even just don't underestimate how brainwashed the average person is. Even people that would ordinarily lean right will just be like they so want to fit in that they'll buy it because and it's insane. It's totally insane. And we have these crazy fringe types, and the ones they push, it's never. I think that's why Charlie Kirk it screwed over so many people. Is you had someone who's having conversations like that's like. Do you realize what's on the other side? Like, do you realize and it's crazy.
Yeah, we all said this. Like, you ain't gonna like the next guy. He ain't gonna be like Charlie Kirk. All right,
That's why they took him out. He was the most effective.
Absolutely.
Because he asked questions, and he tried to,
Yeah. The other thing he was doing was he was keeping a stopper on some of the bad things on the right. So by taking him out, you create a power vacuum, which initiates a bunch of infighting, which is exactly what's happened. So the MAGA coalition prior to that was really solidified. It was making significant progress. It was doing really fucking well. And then after the shooting of Charlie Kirk,
2 months later,
it's a disaster. It's a disaster. They can't hit their own.
Yeah, now we got like Nick Fuentes. Like I'm seeing so many people like actual conservatives, like me being a real conservative, go for Nick Fuentes. I'm like, what are you talking? Dude, watch the Kino Casino segments on Nick Fuentes.
I beg you not to ignore this.
Yeah, and
real quick,
you got guys like Ben Shapiro, also like reverting back to. Basically just being a rhino, like, it's like he really did kind of keep it all in check. Charlie really did kind of keep it all in check. And these people, Candace Owens is completely off the deep end now.
I think they killed her man.
Yeah,
Bro.
I mean, she sees her shadow. She calls it Israel. She was like, "Oh my god!"
I know.
Bro, they shot her man in front of her.
Yeah, they did.
Real quick, let me read this from Blue Eyed. We got when I worked at UPS 2008 to 2015, the left started pushing me away because the union was pushing so hard to vote Democrat, and they were pulling the if you don't know you're racist Obama. It only escalated. Yeah, government jobs really got screwed over.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was definitely, I think she has some very confusing I'm sure they're even more confusing for her husband.
Yeah. Well, now that's all she does is like share like text messages that like she had with Charlie, like, you know, like before he died. And it was just like, if I was her husband, I'd just be like sitting there in my cock chair.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, yo.
Yeah, I was like, dude,
listen.
you need to mush her face in the pillows, dude. You take that authority.
Bro, and respectfully, like the way some of these women talk about Charlie Kirk, like, wow, he was such a hero. Oh my God. He was such a leader. And he was so tall. It's like, bitch, I'm sorry. I'm not comfortable with how horny women are getting over Charlie Kirk. I'm sorry. That's something about that bothers me.
That's another thing. The most attractive thing a man can do in the eyes of a woman is die.
It's true.
They fucking love that shit. They love it when we die. They love it when we die.
Oh my God.
You know why? Because we can never disappoint them again. That's why we become perfect after that.
Yes, because then you can project all of your weird fucking hangups onto them.
I know. I gotta get some of this death pussy, bro.
Yeah.
How do I get some of this death pussy?
I don't know. Become a vampire.
That is a wild statement, Theo.
No, I can just imagine like Mary Magdalene seeing Jesus after he resurrected and just being like, "Hi."
This is a great bit. I'm doing this for free. You guys are fucking ungrateful.
It's funny though. That's a perfect clip to take out of context. I gotta get in on some of this death pussy.
Yeah,
one of the most horrible sentences you can imagine.
By the way, I want to start a metal. I want to start a death metal band, and the first album will be called Death Pussy. Sure.
That's great. Check back with me in 3 months.
Oh man, let's see what other news. Well, we got Ilhan Omar, of course, responding to Greg Abbott. I've already brought that up. We'll transition out of the anti-Islamic / Theo and the pro-Islamic women dominate subjugation debate. So I'm fucking with you. Let me see. So, this is from Ilhan Omar. Greg Abbott chaired the largest Muslim civil rights organization a terrorist organization and said Muslims are a threat to our freedom. The normalization of anti-Muslim hate speech is vile. This bigot should not have should have no place in elected office. Well, until pretty modern history, neither did most Muslims. Was it during the Carter administration that they lifted that ban, or did it predate that? Emerald's the smartest one here. Let's ask him.
I think it was around that time when that.
Yeah, so fairly recently.
Fairly recently. But of course, this coming from the brother marrying brother lover herself, that actually should be denaturalized and deported for immigration fraud. So I mean,
we know that she broke the law getting in here, and no one does anything about it. They and still allow her to hold public office.
You have to wait until she gets out of public office because then she becomes a martyr.
Okay, I get that makes more sense, but I don't know if they.
No, okay. So I'm a mixed opinion on that one. Yes, for a few, it might make her a martyr. For other ones, it needs to happen because at this point, people have completely lost faith in the government in general. And if there's the evidence that she completely broke the law and she just gets away with it and continues to sit there and serve as an elected official, that takes away from people having any kind of respect or anything else for just our government in general, and that's going to lead to more apathy and more hatred towards and distrust towards the government, which is going to cause even more splintering and fracturing of the nation.
Yeah, I mean, That's what they said about that Zoran Mandani. Someone was just like, why doesn't someone just take him out? And I was like, that'd be the worst thing you could possibly do.
Oh, that'd be terrible.
And again, that's a different situation. That right there is actually more of a different situation too.
No, it is, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, but it's the whole point. There's more and more investigations that keep going into Elon. All of the things that she's been involved with, from just lots of fraud, immigration fraud, tax evasion, so many different things. It's like this is stacked up at this point. It's not a
campaign finance law.
Yeah, it's a fact that she is clearly and provably violated major laws.
Yeah, I will say this about her though: she's one bad brother fucker.
Hold on, do I got the drums for that? Shit. I think I do. I can't find the. There it is. I was about to give you the Taco Bell. There you go.
Like, I think it's just hard to accept that this is just a country now where stuff like this happens. Yeah. You know, like, okay. Do you guys remember like The West Wing, the TV show?
Yes.
The West Wing. And that was how people thought like the president was. And now, it like, okay, like they tried to impeach Trump, so they tried to impeach Biden again. Before that, there was not a lot of impeachment that had happened, right, in the whole history of the United States. And then they tried to impeach Trump, and then they tried to impeach Biden, and then they're trying to come up with reasons to impeach Trump. Like, that's a really serious legal procedure to bring against. You shouldn't be bringing up against sequential leadership like that. That's the sign of a country that's in trouble that's doing that. And like the fact that they did absolutely everything they could possibly think of to try to find a reason to put Donald Trump in jail was crazy. That was crazy how they did that. And it ended up being just a bunch of bullshit, right? Like, that was a crazy thing that happened. Like, it's hard to accept that we're in a country where that kind of stuff happens now. And that if you decline to really go after people who are in the opposing political party, you know, then you're actually doing a bad thing strategically, because they will come after you, you know. Yes. And also the fact that, like, I think it's almost certainly all of these people are guilty of some manner of corruption, right? Like,
absolutely.
There's nobody with clean hands in there.
They leave millionaires, you know what I mean? They come in at modest means, and, you know, they leave multi-millionaires. And which is like, another thing too is what these Republicans need to start realizing is these people are willing to like blatantly lie to smear
and break the law. And you know, they have no reason to not break the law because they never suffer any repercussion.
No.
Like right now, there's some indictments or maybe some subpoenas, but it's not going to come to anything. They really need to know this. The only way to stop it is by saying it's unacceptable and start making arrests. Me and you debated that a while back, but I still think I'm right. You have to set an example.
And I think,
and it can't just be, well, we're not going to stoop to their level. It's like, it's not stooping.
I disagree.
Well, no.
We have to follow the law. The law has to be applied.
We're never going to be
correctly.
down to their level. You have to understand how low they are. That they're cheering on murder, advocating for murder. If we're pro even a slight level of a variation of a variation of a variation of cancel culture, which is basically what we're advocating for, right? A very, like, the most minute punishments, really. Otherwise we're just cucks. Like, let's be honest. Like, there has to be some level of, if, like, it's not being overly nice to them only got us so far. There has to be some level of fear, because the fact of the matter is they're doing this to fit in. Most people, you need to let them know that what the insane shit they're doing to fit in, you ain't allowed to fit in like that anymore. Fix your shit.
Yeah, it's time to start bullying them. And then that's why Trump was so significant. That's why 2024 was so significant, is like we finally decided that these tactics aren't going to work. It was like, oh, you're going to call me racist? Okay, I don't care. I honestly don't care anymore. It was like, what are you going to do to me? And that's why Trump is so significant, is because he'll get these people. He's already down in the mud. So the only thing that you're going to do is get dirty. You know, it was like, oh, you want to call me racist? Well, you're a fat pig. It was like Democrats just didn't know how to fucking handle that. And they're like, that's why they hate him so much. And, you know, that's why they'll do whatever they can to smear him. I mean, the whole thing with the lockdown was absolutely unacceptable. You know, they They held the country hostage, and then they blamed him the whole time. When if he would have caved and agreed to him, what he would have agreed to would have sank the economy, and then they would have looked at him and be like, "Look how bad the economy is under Trump." So he was damned if he did, damned if he didn't anyway, because these are the type of fucking games that these people play. And like I said, you shouldn't give them any quarter. It really is time to just start bullying these people again. And it was like, I would love for someone to like shove Maisie Hirono in a locker and just like leave her there for a little, because she obviously didn't get that high school experience, right? Like Ted Liu never got that experience, right? He's a gay Chinese guy, and somehow he just slipped through high school with no one called him a homo, nothing. Like, come on, put him in his place.
Yeah. Well, I think they probably all stuck with like their theater kids, so they stuck with their own little cliques, never ventured or welcome in any kind of conflicting thoughts or opinion. And if they ever did encounter that was their form of bullying. Someone disagreed with them on something. Must be because I'm a gay Chinese man.
Yeah, I saw a stat recently that was kind of alarming. It was like right-wing men are more forgiving of their political enemies than left-wing women are of their political allies, or something like that. It was like the left is like, it's an excruciating place to live. It's
that's what I'm saying. Like
they eat their own.
Dude, I was in Turning Point in college when the first time I was asked to join, I was like, I don't want to join political groups. And then within a week of college, the indoctrination, I'm like, I just need people to vent to. We would have left-wingers join our group. People who are super. One person was transgender and communist and joined us because she thought Trump was funny and that wasn't allowed. Like we would have liberals join our group because they felt more at home with us than they did with their fellow liberals. Like, it's insane.
Yeah.
Well, what's the problem with the communist culture taking over liberalism? Because if you read any books on the Soviet Union, what a paranoid, horrible place to live. Everybody was nervous about all of their neighbors all of the time.
Dude, back to Jonestown. Look at what happened there, right? Like, someone was caught passing a note, and they're like, shut it down. All right, everyone has to off themselves. Because someone was caught passing a note. That is what triggered this all to go down.
Mm-hmm. You're just standing around waiting for Stalin to airbrush you out of one of those pictures, right? Like,
Well, we're talking about consequences for the other side or any side. Like, I want to be clear. When people actually break the law or use the law, break the law through their use of the law, there should be really severe consequences so that this doesn't happen on any side ever again. But now, well, that's just not going to happen. Let me pull this up. I'm sure you guys already heard about the whole Epstein thing. Like, yay, we're going to get a whole bunch of documents that still say jack and shit. Yeah. I don't even care anymore, I guess. But this part I did care about, and this was interesting. Let me get my screen. So apparently the Democratic rep Plaskett from the Virgin Islands. So she doesn't even have voting power. That's real important. They caught her through the release of all this. She was personally texting Jeffrey Epstein well after it was known what he did. She tries to say, well, I didn't know about it at the time. Like, oh, you just didn't watch the news? No.
Yeah.
And you're a representative and you don't know what one of your constituents is doing. He's feeding her questions to ask in one of the hearings related to Trump.
And again, why was he one of her constituents? Oh, that's right, because of his little attack island.
Yeah. And I also love the flip-flop. It went from just a few months ago, Jeffrey Epstein and Trump were BFFs, to, well, Jeffrey Epstein hated Trump. What does that tell you?
Yeah, it was like,
what does that tell you? That's not an own at all.
I can't tell. I can't
tell.
Wait,
no, hold on. Wait, hold on. So is it? Wait, hold on. What? No, you can't. But okay, do you see what I'm saying though? It's not about law or enforcing the law or justice or any of that. It's it's multiple sides are jockeying for power and they're all trying to win. It's not even fair to say it's two sides. There's just a bunch of balls that are fighting each other and they're all trying to win. I don't know if I think any appeals to like law and order or justice or anything like that are just manipulation. I think everyone involved is just acting in their own self-interest at this point.
Well,
I actually don't think there's anybody representing justice.
You know, and they have the audacity to call everyone who doesn't agree with them like, oh, you're in a cult. And then so just like what Iron was saying is like the first thing they'll say is like, oh, he's best friends with Jeffrey Epstein. And then, you know, like on a dime, then they'll go, Jeffrey Epstein hated him. Can you imagine how bad we were? Like, oh yeah, the moral arbiter of all that is good. Jeffrey fucking Epstein doesn't like him. You know how little sleep I would lose if like the most prolific generational fucking pedophile hated me. Like, what?
It'd be like if Jeffrey Dahmer said I was unpleasant to be around.
Yeah,
okay.
And they
what it is?
They just buy this new narrative, hook, line, and sinker.
Can I ask you something? Have you guys ever had the experience of where your wife has one particular coworker she hates, so she just comes home and says a horrible shit about this woman?
Oh yes.
And you just listen to it. You're like, yeah, fuck that broad. Like you like just co-sign it. I feel like that's what Trump is for the left. The left is like our toxic girlfriend, and they're just like they just want to just like say horrible things about this guy because it vents their frustrations about the world.
Right.
You know, that's what I think bothers me about this is at some point it feels like a hysterical feminine like bitch session.
It is,
you know, like it's not policy oriented. It's just they're just like shrieking hysterically.
I don't like him. Trump being naughty things. That's really
all.
The
problem is that then it forces us to be like, well, then everything Trump must do must be great. And it's like again, you guys are making a martyr out.
No, it's not.
Never look at him critically. Because it's like, all right, well, you said that at the last 50 things he did, so I don't take you seriously.
It also, there's times
now
where
it's
I
like,
don't even want to defend the
insane.
guy.
You want to kill me already. You want to kill people who are moderate. So I don't give a shit. I don't want people. I'll take whatever crazy stuff he's doing over you because at least he's not trying to shoot me.
Yeah, but a lot of things too is like they'll just make him the boogeyman because there's times where I hate defending Trump, but there's times where I have to because like the accusation you made, which is blatantly untrue, like he's gonna grind up little dogs and they're gonna serve it in Wendy's chili, and it was like, where the fuck did you hear that? That didn't happen. He never said that. No, he said it.
Well,
no, it's
one of the real ones, and I saw this with a lot of acquaintances on Facebook were in Facebook. I checked out of Facebook a long time. It's cooked. But one of the real things that they believed is he's going to round up every LGBT person and put them in camps.
Oh yeah.
Where was that stated?
I would have loved if that was part of his campaign. It was like, we're going to get them all up. We're going to put a bunch of disco balls up. They're not even going to know. They're going to
be happy there.
Yeah, wait, hold on. Trump supported gay marriage. Wait, this is one of the things that bothered me even back in 2016. He supported gay marriage going like there's clips going back to the 90s. And then Hillary was like, what, in 2012?
No, and that's the thing. So you guys are getting hung up on whether or not what they're saying is true. And it doesn't matter to them whether what they're saying is true. They're just trying to get people to believe as many bad things as they can, completely independent of whether or not it's true. It's just an information war tactic.
Right, that's true.
Yeah, their slogan is like and it's an Antifa slogan. It's a communist slogan. There's no bad tactics, just bad targets.
Yeah,
that's why they're openly willing to be hypocritical. It doesn't matter. What matters is the end game. The matters is that you defame this person, or it doesn't matter.
Right. And it's not necessarily a left thing. I've dealt with certain individuals.
It goes all the way back to the simple phrase of the means justify the ends.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter, and it even goes back to Islam in itself. Is those that are practitioners of Islam are clearly allowed to lie to infidels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, look at all the misinformation that was coming out of even though the conflict in Gaza is terrible, But even upon that, they were still willing to make like these awful AI pictures and circulate it around to forward their cause, because that's going to turn heads. No one wants to see these terrible pictures of like kids being maimed and everything. And then you look down, you realize the kid's got like 8 fingers on one hand,
right?
And everything's kind of off. But like if you're just glancing by, I was like, I remember I had like a session with my mother, and I was like, okay, we're gonna find the AI pic. Okay, I showed you. She's like, oh my god, that's horrible. I was like, no, focus. Look at the hands. She's like, oh my god, it's fake. Yes, it's fake. But they want you. They don't care. They're that's a very dangerous enemy when they're willing to lie to get their way. And these people have adopted that mentality, and for some reason you have this strange hybrid of like these gay communists and Islam, and I just can't wrap my head around it. It's so bizarre.
And they can know it's fake, and they won't understand that this is what happens when you have countries at war. There are casualties. There were casualties on both sides. Some would say the other side kind of started it in the recent history, just over the last couple of years. But it doesn't matter what Theo was saying. What's true doesn't matter, just about how they feel.
Yeah, I actually heard a liberal the other day going like, no, it's a genocide. These, you don't bomb residential areas in a war. And I was like, so was Hiroshima a genocide? Or was the the bombing of Britain, pretty much all of the bombings in World War II, those were all residential areas.
Yeah, you haven't been to too many wars recently. And there's a reason why they put their military bases under schools and hospitals. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've gotten very good at it. So that's why I'm like, let's just not pay for it and let them sort it out.
Arms and walk through minefields, like that wasn't a tactic.
Yeah.
Or that's that thing.
You kill children.
They're showing them all. They're showing them all now, like crying in their tents, like why it's raining. And so, like someone posted the other day of just like a waitress like holding something. It was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Did you not like the war you ordered?" I was like,
now back to the story. So this rep from the Virgin Islands with no voting power, they immediately wanted to censure her, which is basically a non-punishment. She should have been expelled from office, in my opinion. But 4 Republicans voted no. Why would they? And everybody's describing it as like a backdoor dealing. They went and met and discussed it with the other side and decided to vote against this. No reasons given. Now, the reason the voting power is important, it can't be a quid pro quo, because it can't be, well, remember I helped you, next time I need a helpful vote for something. So what is it? What are they getting? And this is why, people are just there's no faith in the government whatsoever, because once you're in government, there's no accountability at any point, especially if you have a D in front of your name. Again, because the Republicans will run cover for you.
Right. And that goes again to the fact that we were saying earlier, and what I had commented about, of the whole point that it doesn't matter if they're sitting Congress when it came into Omar, is they need to start perp walking. It doesn't matter right or left. They've committed crimes. They need to be arrested, perp walked, and charged and prosecuted. Right and left, even if it's the right. Because it would also in addition to that, add to the fact that they're saying, well, just Trump's going after his political enemies. Well, no, Trump is going after criminals, left and right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, the Republicans already did vote to expel one of their members. What was his name? The little gay guy, for using campaign money on OnlyFans or something.
Yeah, it was something.
He actually went to jail. He didn't go to jail. So there is definitely a double standard, but until we just start seeing, and I agree with you, both sides, anybody being just blatantly breaking the law needs to have consequences. So maybe that'll help. Maybe get the right kind of people into office.
I was like, yeah, dude, my first day, I would bring something to the floor. Like, hey, anybody gets caught doing something, they get tarred and feathered in front of the Capitol building. And we cut all commercials, everything, and that's just what we show. It was just the show. This is how we deal. This is how we clean house. Because yeah, and that's another thing too. It was like they're not willing to do it. Democrats aren't willing to out their own, but they also, you have these people who have been in there for 60 years. It's astounding how deeply rooted this corruption is.
That's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Do you think there's anybody representing the rule of law anymore, or is it just a bunch of people just trying to rob the sinking ship? What do you think?
I think that's it.
Yeah,
I think everybody's trying to get away with their own crimes as much as possible.
You guys remember the West Wing? For fuck's sake, that's how we thought the country worked back then. What happened?
House of Cards.
What happened? What?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, I think she did.
Happened. Yeah, it's just
was,
like.
you want to know what? Okay, I have an answer for you. I know how it what happened. West Wing was never. West Wing is a TV series that never truly ever fucking existed.
Yes.
And what it was more like House of Cards. The White House never operated.
That's
that
right.
way. It was never that way. Politics hasn't been that way. You can go back to like just a few presidents into our history, and you have one of them calling the other one a transvestite.
Yeah,
their opponent.
Yeah.
People really thought, and like smart people thought, if Thomas Jefferson was going to get elected as president, we might as well just not even have a country and we'll just have another war.
Right.
Like that's people were saying that.
This has been going on for the longest time.
Yeah. And now he's one of our most celebrated presidents. So
I watched this documentary about the shooting at the OK Corral, and
nice.
And so everybody on the north was for Wyatt Earp, and then everybody in the south was for the Cowboys.
Clantons. Yeah, the Clantons and the Cowboys.
And you know what I mean? So it was like even back then, so they would like you'd have these people like sending them like care packages, and so it was like even back then we were at each other's throats as a country. It was like this country's been a powder keg since its inception. It was like everybody agreed on Washington, and that was it. Like that was
Washington was very opposed to political parties, though, and getting involved. Have you looked at his final letter where he's like, "Don't do all these things"? You're like, "Ha ha ha!
We're gonna do it all and then some."
Like literally everything he told us not to do, we did, and then we're like, "How did we get here?" Dude was right about everything. I do gotta go, but it was great hanging with you guys, and things will be okay eventually, hopefully, probably, please. But I think it's gonna get worse before it gets better.
That's true.
And the thing is, we're doing all we can. Like the problem is we try and have civil conversations. It's like so many of them just won't, and it's like fuck.
I think this is because everybody's isolated and staring into their phones. I think that makes it hard. Like
I don't think that's just it. I think because when you're at the universities with these people, they can't even when they're so scared. These people are terrified.
But we could do a whole show just on the universities because that's a big. I mean, that is where our biggest problems are lying. They're political indoctrination camps,
and the entertainment industry too.
Yeah, and the entertainment industry is starting to. Well,
which is why you guys
by going out of business. That's right.
So I do have a 20% off sale on my website, Rebel Oasis Studios. So I will single-handedly lead the charge. I'm not just trying to take your money or anything. But
are there any upcoming projects you're excited about?
Yeah, Phenomenal issue 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Am I missing anything, Theo?
Are there any other upcoming projects that you're excited about?
Oh, I'm doing a short story collection. Am I missing anything, Theo?
Hold on. I think there might be some more projects that you could be excited about.
Of course, yes. No, I Can Fix Her. We are working on that. That book is going to be great. I just wanted to drive Theo a little insane. that book, that script has been a lot of fun. Fairly easy script to write, painfully easy, I think. In a lot of ways, we're going through revisions right now, but yeah. Well, Theo, I'll let you know if I have time tomorrow. I should have time, but I've just been so busy with some other stuff. But yeah, keep an eye out for that, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.
See you later, man. Thanks for hanging out.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Later, bud.
Okay, now that the giant is out of the room.
All right, I think we covered most of our story. We got one more. I don't know if we're going to cover it tonight. I'll see how everybody's feeling. Oh, but go ahead. Oh,
So, what?
2026 Dems going to impeach not only Trump, but half admin. Dems are already compiling pay-for-play transactions by Bondi and No. Okay. Yeah, they're not going to stop. The only way you stop it is by saying there's consequences for doing that shit.
Well, and that's the thing. I think it's just I think it's like an administrative civil war is what I'm saying. Like this is how the different HR departments are at each other's throat. We're witnessing a cat fight, and it feels very unsatisfying because it's very passive aggressive. But this is an administrative civil war. They're trying to put Trump in jail for real.
Yeah. I've thought about this for a while. Like, I really think that in, let's say, 50 to 100 years from now, they're going to look back at this time of history and call it a civil war.
Oh, I completely agree.
Aside from like straight up bloody battles, we've already had casualties. The lawfare that's being used, just the political climate itself. I mean, just because the methods have changed, it could still qualify as a soft civil war, if nothing.
Well, no, it's a war on information, right? Like, you know, it's and that's how the Cold War is. You know, it's a cold civil war. And you have a party of people that are willing to do whatever they can to get back in power, and whenever they lose, they want to change the rules so they can't lose again. And whenever they win, they want to change the rules so they can win more often. And, you know, whether it was Biden letting in a bunch of illegals and sending them to places that won't check to see if they vote, you know, if they're valid voters, or, you know, whether, you know, polling shit like this. And like, how many times have they impeached Trump? How many times are they going to once they get the opportunity after midterms? Because they're going to come back in midterms. Like, it's just, if he would have won, we had that, you know, God forbid, with Charlie Kirk, and then and two, just things are the promises that he made, they're taking longer. And I'm going to be dreadfully honest, he dropped the fucking ball with this Epstein shit. He should have just came out and goes like, because we all know, like, we saw the fucking flight logs, dude. Like, it would have been, he should have just, I want to know who was on that list that was like really dragging the feet, because we all knew it was terrible. It was like everybody in Hollywood and a ton of Democrats. And then, you know, so it's like, I want to see who he was protecting on that, but
foreign diplomats.
And stuff like that. And then you got weird shit, like you got the Prince of Saudi Arabia like coming to the fucking White House. You know what I mean? There's a lot of smoke screens, a lot of smoke and mirrors. But I was saying this would have been a win if you would have just dropped the files, because it was, Jesus Christ, even when Trump, even if he was there, he was a Democrat at the time. We know Billy Boy was like there, and they're like, we don't care about that. I was like, I have a feeling it's going to be a lot more guys on their side of the aisle. You know what I mean? You should have just did it and taken your lumps, and whoever you outed, because at the end of the day, they're fucking despicable. You know, it is what it is. But I mean, he totally dropped the ball, and he gave them ammunition, and he let them kind of like dog walk him during the shutdown thing. When now, granted, I'm glad he didn't cave, but it was like, it's one thing that Democrats are really, really fucking good at is optics, and these optics are gonna fucking kill him in the midterms.
Yep, and then then he really pissed off his own base with his comments about the H1 visas.
Yeah.
Big catastrophic mess.
It brings up the question, though: is the right a cult? Absolutely fucking not. Because you have the
Absolutely
right
not.
that is absolutely pissed off with him about the H-1B visas.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, that whole little spiel was like, can't have them build the batteries. The batteries are gonna blow up. And you're like, dude, just shut up. Don't talk about the batteries.
Technology that, you find out now that technology was actually developed in this country before we started shipping everything overseas for cheap labor. And that's where it all started. It all goes back to cheap fucking labor.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, I'm not going to, be a tool for big tech like the Democrats. And he is.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guarantee that's where his falling out with Elon really stems from. Definitely is falling out with Vic. But go ahead.
Yeah, well, we're seeing the emergence of different factions. There's the MAGA coalition and the America First coalition, right? And the America First coalition pejoratively calls MAGA Israel First. Right. Yeah. Isn't that interesting? They're like, do you want to be America first or do you want to be Israel first? Because I'm an America First American. Isn't it interesting how they slip that in there? Isn't that interesting how that's the issue that's fracturing? It's like that and immigration, and they tend to, form up on the sides. Yep. Now that's interesting. And America First is one of these sneaky words, though, like Black Lives Matter, right? Yeah. And to be fair, Make America Great Again is one of those two. But it's benign. And like, who could argue with being America first? But then within that, they're trying to sneak you into agreeing with some other stuff. So you got to be careful. You got to be careful.
Do you support the fatherland or not?
Yeah, for real.
Well, and Ben Shapiro doesn't help that either. A lot of the others that are so pro-Israel that you can't say no. Look, I think I'm all for doing what you need to do to protect your country, but let's be real. It's still a government that does fucking government shit, and all governments are inherently evil, just looking out for their own self-interest by any means necessary. So it's perfectly okay to critique a government without being labeled, anti-Semite or this or that. Because what if you gonna put me in my fucking face to the grill, then I guess I'll say, then fuck it, I'm pro-Israel if you want. That's what you want to hear when it comes down to between the two.
Isn't it crazy that we can't have a rational discussion about this issue without descending into hysterics?
Exactly.
Isn't it fucking weird that you can't actually say something like totally like if I went into a Starbucks right now and a crowded Starbucks and I just said, attention everyone, just want to let everyone to know men and women are different. Thank you. Someone would have a mental health episode.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Someone would, right?
No,
if I did that in a crowded Starbucks in a major city, right? And what? How can we be in a
quiet pig?
In a country where we're that hysterical and that unable to have just like rational conversations about basic things, about like things that are like obviously true and not acknowledging them. Like, it's obviously true that there's some kind of like rational discussion that can be had over the degree to which our country supports a foreign country. It doesn't matter what the country
exactly.
is. Rational discussion that can be had.
We
can't have that. They're like, because as soon as you bring that up, they're like, aha, I'm a bit of a Jew hater myself. And it's like, no, wait, hold on. Time out.
Yeah,
time out. That's not what I said.
The Jews really got it bad too. Like, it was like, so if you go too far right, you hate the Jews. If you go too far left, you hate the Jews.
You really hate the Jews.
Like, it's fucking crazy. But I was explaining this the other day. Ben Shapiro shielding for Israel is no different than when like Johan Omar goes up and then talks about how great Somalia is. It was like you're still pledging.
But then the left they cheer on that. But that's the other thing. The left wants complete death to America and all that, like erasure of Western cultures. Western civilization is the worst thing ever created in history. It's like, well, you have history because of it. You're welcome.
Yeah, no, that's these people stand on the shoulders of giants and complain about the weather. It drives me fucking nuts. And they, it's, and when you look at the candidates who, like that dude who ran for mayor in Minneapolis, was like, hi, I look exactly like the devil. You can trust me though. Like, I was like, do we see this guy? Like, I know he looks like the pirate in Captain Phillips, but like, he even had like the little like devil goatee.
Goatee,
like, what the fuck is going on?
He looks like he'd be on an off-Broadway play of like the Midsummer Night Dream by Shakespeare, playing the little imp guy with the flute.
Yeah, that's what it was. He was going behind the podium. He's like, "Don't let the cloven feet fool you. I am America first."
It's just crazy. We can't have a rational discussion about any of these issues without descending into hysterics.
I made the mistake.
We can. It's the left can.
Yeah. The left can't, and especially women can't. So I was talking with my dad about Israel and in Gaza, and I was like, guys, this area has been in flux since the fucking Bible. And she's like, there is no argument, there is no excuse to kill children. And I was like, that's such a like non sequitur thing to say. It was like, no, these people have just as much history. They were displaced, just like the other people were displaced. And also, why don't you ask yourself why all these other surrounding Middle Eastern countries won't take the Palestinians in? Because every single time you get a bunch of them in one place, they try to overthrow the fucking country,
overrun it, and they start shit. And by the way, they love killing kids. They kill their own kids. Fuck. And I mean, this all started because they killed a bunch of fucking kids at a music festival, and those two little
fucking nuts. And
so that's glossed. Oh well, they're freedom fighters.
No, they're not. They're
the fuck taking sex slave hostages and fuck off.
Yeah, okay. So
if that happened to America, parking lot. Overnight.
Absolutely, you'd be gone. So I would say there's a little bit more nuance to the conversation. Correct? It was like Israel didn't like wake up one day and be like, you know what, I'm gonna bomb a hospital. And it was like, no, there's tunnels under the hospital. There's like they use and then you have idiots like Greta Thunberg like sailing in on the retard express. I would have just let the Palestinians have her. It was like, you know what, you're gonna make an actual
that's great. The Israelis saved her.
Oh, that was so funny when they walked her back the first time. She tried to put like her arms behind her back like she was cuffed, and one of the Israeli soldiers was like, "What are you doing?" and like slapped her arms, so she had to put them to her side just so that she wasn't cuffed. It was like, it was like you're gonna be a real hostage. No more of this LARPing, honey. We're gonna let you cross right in, and they're gonna be bouncing those big autistic titties around because you are going to be a real hostage today. Okay. So this is Ahmed. He'll be showing you around. Yeah. This little pit. You're going to be there. We will throw bread at you and another fucking Lord Farquaad here.
Hard boat making another run. The tar.
So apparently the first one they did, they had like only like a couple of bags of like supplies, and they had already like I guess gotten high and started eating out of it. So these idiots would like show up on a boat with like a half bag of like eating like supplies and like, I'm making a difference.
You wanna know who I found out one of her group members was highly disappointing. Do you guys remember Game of Thrones? Do you remember Davos?
Yes.
Yeah. Worthy. He was over with Stannis and all that. Yep, that actor's part of her little group.
No.
Fuck. No,
Why did they have
man.
to call it the flotilla? As if it's like this new Taco Bell fucking.
This is such an interesting phenomenon. I wonder why this is so animating for people. I wonder why this caught the algorithm the way it did. And it just like motivated people from all these countries that have nothing to do with the conflict to try to like wade in and be a part of it. And what the fuck is going on with that?
You get beat to shit in your Egypt trying to get in.
If it really was all about human rights, then where are the protests for what's the actual genocide going on in the Congo right now?
I was like, why that genocide? Why that one?
That kind of sort of wasn't even one is just a war.
Yeah, is this just like traditionally the way we resolve conflicts like this is whoever wins was right the whole time, and then we move on. Like that's traditionally how we do it, right? Like, why don't we? I don't understand why that doesn't apply here.
Because
there's a holy city.
It goes back to the beginning, what we were talking about with Islam. It's this overprotection of Islam that they're doing, the left does and leftists do and communists have been doing, is overprotecting. And so, yeah, you want to know what? Yep, because these poor Palestinians, which Muslim, well, they're being attacked and they're being genocide by the evil Jewish state.
Well, like Muslims are not babies, and also Muslims don't even all like each other. Like there's a bunch of different kinds of Muslims and they don't like each other.
That's the thing. Once they kill everybody else in a small little area they're in, okay, no more Christians, no more Hindus, no more Jews. Well, where are you done killing? We'll kill you. Yeah, my Islam better than your Islam. They start fighting. It happens every time.
Well, it was like when there was we did this thing. It was like a false flag to get Antifa to there was like a statue that they were going to take down in Kalamazoo, and we said that we were going to march around and then have like this party by the statue. We literally marched. They kind of like lined up, and then we met at this parking garage, but we said we were going to meet at a different parking garage. So they all met at the first parking garage, and we all drove out and we just left. Well, when they realized there was no one there to fight, they decided to fight the press and themselves because that's what they were actually there for. You know, that's the same. It's the same thing with that mentality. It was like, you know, and it's a shame because, you know, it was like I do live close to Dearborn. I've met some really cool Muslims. There are truly people who think it's like it's a religion. There's also a very violent sect that they're willing to have like this war of attrition. And they will just keep coming until they get what they want, and they're willing to do whatever they need to do to get what they want. They'll lie, they'll, you know, or they'll just straight up kill you. But yeah, that's another thing. They can't agree because like when Muhammad started writing the book, it's very peaceful. That's because they were the minority. It's as Islam started to grow, that's when you were like, well, and if they did, you know, if you ask them if, you know, they believe in Allah and they say no, then you should probably kill that person because we're the majority now. It was like they act entirely. They have there's steps in the Quran that tell you like how you should be. It was like
how to conquer.
Yeah, you know, it really is this crazy warlord in a cave, just like talking to himself, you know, going like Adam, he was Muslim, Jesus, Muslim, and all these other guys are just like, okay. I was like, what is the difference between him and like Joseph Smith? Like, you know, the real Israelites were actually in America.
And they both promised their male followers a whole lot of pussy.
Yeah, and another thing too is
just like Democrats and free shit.
It's also very similar where it was like, I have this thing that God gave me, but you guys can't see it. Only I can go get it. I buried it in the backyard. If you guys have any questions, you come to me. And everyone's like, oh.
Why'd you bury it? My first.
Yeah. I'd be like, what? Can I see it? Well, it's written in a holy language that only I can understand. And was like, seems sus. But
well, no,
I kind of feel like you're making this up as you go along.
Sammy, that's disingenuous, and I want you to retract that. He had magic seer stones so that he could translate it.
Oh, cool.
That's right. Yes, cool. You're missing that. You're missing that. Stop with the fake news and the gaslighting.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, look, no, it all checks out now. I
do think Islamic civilization is really impressive what they were able to accomplish and how much territory they were able to conquer. But if you like, it's really what they believe is like there. You could just go look it up, or you could like ask them and they'll just like tell you. You don't even like have to. But and if you get a lot of people who don't see, the left believes that everybody's a blank slate and you just need to educate everyone and that'll fix it. Yeah. And that's not how things are. If you bring in people who think about the world very differently, and they gradually become the majority in an area, the culture in that area is going to change. That's not racist. That's a thing. And we're not being racist. They'll be honest with you about what they think. They tell you. Like, we're not making it up.
No,
it's right there.
They celebrate it. I mean, dude, they were screaming "Death to America" down the street. Like, I shit you not, like 10 miles away from my house. And I see that, like, and they're doing that weird thing where they're like beating their chests. You know, like they all take their shirts off and beat their chests. And it was like,
I'm
like, it's like a parade away. Like, what the fuck is happening?
Hey, Iron.
And I get a little like, oh, you can't, don't judge cultures. All cultures are equal. No, they're not. That's some primitive fucking bullshit. This is some, and look at, like, I always go back to Iran. Iran was a developed nation, everything promising in the up and up. Now it's like the fucking 1600s.
Yeah. Iron, here's a little, let's make Ironcast a little bit of educational too, shall we?
Sure.
What was so what was one of the major conflicts that the founded America, United States of America, first fought? It was the Barbary Pirates. That was our first major conflict as a nation. And what were the Barbary Pirates? Muslims. Mm-hmm. We've gone to war with pirates. Muslims, the pirates. Yeah. Now, on top of that, they always go back to, the U.S., they printed the Quran. They're using that as a tactic. No, yes, the U.S. did print the Quran. And it had a warning at the beginning going, this is what they believe.
Yeah.
It wasn't an admission and condoning of Islam. It was a warning. It was printed and handed out for people to read to find out. This is what they believe. This is what they're fighting, and they will conquer. I mean, you have it with the Crusades, were the exact same thing.
Well, I have news to, like, all these pussified males who are just like, well, I guess I'll just convert. It was like, you're still going to be a secondary citizen, even if you convert.
Or a slave.
It was like, there's like a special word for it where it was like, you're lesser because you were not born a Muslim. So it was like, your only chance to survival and holding on to your way of life is to, like, fight back and make it so you don't want, that they don't want to be here.
Best case scenario, if they took over and they were the nice ones, you would be very second class, live in poverty because you'd pay most of your money to tax because you weren't born Muslim. Yeah. And maybe they'd leave you alone. That's not likely the case. Slavery or death is most likely the case, especially if you're a guy. They'll keep your women.
Again, spelled out right in the Quran. There are 3 ways to survive in the Islamic faith: convert, pay tax, or die. Mm-hmm. It is right there in the Quran.
So there's 2 ways to survive.
Well, it's possible. Now, listen, I will say this. This is going to be a question of birth rates going forward. I do wonder, there's a really good chance their children will become Democrats, though. So that'll be good. And then they won't have children. So that's you got that going for us.
Oh, like, maybe that's why the transgender ideology is like, maybe we have to start bringing it back. Like, well, we could neutralize it.
It's more likely it's being weaponized against non-Muslims. That's why they know what they're doing that's why the useful idiot example is perfect. They will use that to weaken the civilization that they're trying to conquer.
Yeah, this might be
suicidal empathy, and
that's why you got to pay attention to it, because even in Dearborn, there were major pushbacks against the educational system in Dearborn over gender ideology and all the gay propaganda. And that's why some people are kind of going, these Muslims look like they're based. They're coming out against us too. And it's like, no. It's not. Don't equate that this is the same thing as conservatives or the right when it comes to this ideology. No, it's not the same. It looks similar, but it's absolutely not. But this goes back to the whole point where the gay community was going to the Muslims going, hey, why are you attacking us? We've supported you.
Right. Because it's you don't understand the culture enough to really understand it. Even on the extreme right that would say, "Oh, they're based. Maybe we should link arms with them." Nope, they'll link arms with you until they don't need you anymore, and then cut it off.
Yep,
literally with a big fucking sword.
So fucking dangerous. Is like I said, they're just willing. They're willing to say or do whatever to get their way. So it was like they'll manipulate. They'll play victim. It's really absurd that anyone could, anybody educated who can look at this and go like, well, that's not a threat. And it was like, well, no, it very much is a threat. Well, it was like I said, everybody in my area was fine when they originally said like, hey, this is our town. This is how we're going to do things. It was like, started getting a little bit braver. A little bit, branching out, and like all of a sudden, that city's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and you got Arabic written on the police badges and everything. And you're going, okay, it's getting a little weird. This is still an American town. Like, why are you behaving this way? And they're just like, don't ask questions. That's Islamophobic. And you're like,
and unfortunately, and unfortunately in Michigan, you're not going to have the same kind of proclamation from the governor as you did in Texas, because it's freaking Whitmer, a Democrat.
Oh yeah, no Shitmer.
I got to push back. And well, let's just let them have their area and do what they want, and we'll leave them alone. They'll leave us alone. No, this is our fucking country, and even we have to be involved in what they do. If they are doing things that are against our laws and values, because it's Sharia law or whatever, and doing it to their own people, but it's against our laws, they're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, but
the fucking story.
It's also, since it's been here so long, you're looking at like second and third generation, right? You're not having the problems that like London is having, where like you got like these guys coming over, pulling a machete out of their pants, and then like
honor killings and
abusing the women. Like for the most part, these people are like housebroken, right? It's just they follow a religion that's problematic, and but they're good at hiding it. Like they can go to a Lions game and not like make a fool of themselves. It's when you're seeing it fresh, when you're seeing they do not know how to behave in the Western world, and it was like you're getting these Pakistani rape groups that are like going, like it's insane. It was like you don't really have that here. There's what's going on is a little bit more insidious, where it's that creeping horror. It's not like in your face where they're and you'll see hints of it. Like I said, they'll have like a parade where you're going like, oh, it's a little much. But for the most part, they've assimilated just enough to fly under the radar, and now we've noticed it was like, oh, they branched out. It was like, oh, they've taken over like this Polish part of the town is no longer there. There's been businesses that have been there for 90 years that are like closing their doors because they sell pork or it's these people don't realize, it was like their goal hasn't changed. It's just they now that they're established, it's easier for them to manipulate their way through, and because they get established and then they start running for office, and once they start running for office, that's when you're going to have problems.
And that's one of the really big similarities between communism and extreme Islamics. They are so willing to play the long. They don't see 30 years as we're too long to bother. No, they see that as more than willing to just lay low, buy time, and start slowly infiltrating. And they don't care if it happens in their lifetime. They want it to just happen in the end. And that's actually a smart way to go about it. But that's why taken seriously. That's why you can't just say, no, you can come here, and if you leave us alone, we'll just turn the other cheek and not notice you blatantly violating laws that we have in place, or you not wanting to be coming here because you want to be part of America or not.
Well, and
so
also
it has to be taken seriously.
4-1.
Yeah, no shit.
And they know that.
Man.
They openly admit it. They're like, yeah, well, in 30 years, all your kids are going to be Muslim because there's going to be more of us in the area. And also, in the meantime, while our kids have been out, it was like we will be spreading Islam and trying to get people to convert. So it was like, they're fighting it on multiple fronts, and they are playing the long game.
And
so it doesn't.
That's why they vote Democrat. They don't have a problem with non-Muslims having abortions and transitioning their kids. They think it's great.
That's
heathens. You're just heathens anyway.
That's been my standpoint on liberal women with abortions forever. I was like, okay, well, if you guys keep killing your babies, eventually there's not going to be any of you. So I don't have a problem with it. But it's a play on both factors. If you're going to allow these people to rapidly expand, it was like eventually they just from a law of numbers, they're going to be able to take over. It's something you need to nip in the bud. Because the only way to nip it in the bud is to get them out of there, or actually get some laws that restrict them from doing stuff, because and that's another thing too, they don't mind starting young. It was like, that still is an issue out by us, where they're like talking to like 9-year-old kids, if it bleeds, it breeds. That's in their book. That's in their book.
Yeah,
that's why Muhammad waited. He married her when she was 6, but she waited till she got her period when she was 9 to start having sex.
9. God.
Okay.
Oh, what a depressing topic.
Ugh,
well, we don't have time to. I had a fun one lined up for the end of the show, because I knew this talk would be heavy, but we're out of time, so we'll save that for either tomorrow, or I'll talk to you, Theo, backstage. It might be more of a touch grass topic anyway. But we're going to wrap up here. We'll start doing outros. We'll start down with Drunken Emerald Arrow. Mr. Producer, what you got coming up next, man?
Well, on Saturday morning at 8:30 a.m. PST over on Sammy's channel for Cavecast. Then at 11 a.m. PST over on Theo's channel for Touchgrass with Theo Snodgrass. Then at 4:30 p.m. PST over on this channel for Weekly Rogues Gallery. And then at 7 p.m. PST on my channel is insert title here. And then on Tuesday at 6 p.m. PST is my show, Nerds Covering the News.
Awesome, man. Sammy 3P, what you got coming up, man?
Cavecast Saturday morning. We'll be talking about the Mad Hatter. If you're up,
I should be.
Then I have in other news, I believe I'm going to have Sheep Cityan and the Abysmal Critic will be joining us. They'll be my guests. They'll be my first married couple guests. So that ought to be interesting. And then sometime this week, I had a show, or my band had a show last Sunday, and we got some pretty good film footage. So I'll be chopping that up and putting the performance on, or I might just live stream the whole thing and then just put it on the right my band's channel. But that doesn't really get a lot of traction. It's not as active as my personal channel, so I might just stream the thing on here and then chop it up later and throw it up. So
oh yeah, man, let me know. Post that in the group chat so I know when you're. And co-host Theo Snodgrass, what you got coming up, man?
What's up, everybody? My name is Theo Snodgrass. I'm a comedian podcaster out of Las Vegas, Nevada. I do a little show called Touch Grass with Theo Snodgrass, 11 a.m. Pacific time every Saturday. That's a panel show. I also do Theocracy with Theo Snodgrass, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 11 a.m. Pacific time. It's my solo show, so that'll be fun. Make sure to check that out. I also appear here on Ironcast, and also I'm on the Weekly Rogues Gallery. And also I'm doing D&D with our good buddy Full Metal Nate, who's been in the chat, friend of the channel.
Oh, nice.
I'm doing that. So if you want to come hang out with me in any of these fun places, I also pop up on all sorts of other places. And so if you want to come see me on any of those fun places, follow me on Twitter to keep track of everything. Follow me on Instagram. Come hang out with me. Follow me on YouTube. That's the important one. Subscribe on that. That's it.
I just remember
Awesome,
something.
man. Yeah.
Also, over on Duke Devil 95's channel, I guested in reviewing one of the episodes of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Tribunal. which starts the long history of once a season of Chief O'Brien masochistic torture porn. So those are great episodes. Like I said, that one just posted this evening. So over on Duke Devil 95's channel, I will be joining him for more episodes coming up in the future.
Awesome. All right. And I'm Iron Oxide. This is Ironcast. We're going to do this every week, starting out on Tuesdays and Thursdays, kind of see how it goes. I promise to get an intro done at some point. Then aside from that, I'll be at all the places these guys mentioned. I'll be over on Cavecast talking about Mad Hatter. Then I'll be on my show, Rogues Gallery, on Saturday. Or before that, I'll be on Touchgrass with Theo Snodgrass. And then hanging out with Emerald for insert title here. Saturday's a long but fun day, so looking forward to that. Hope everybody can hang out, sub to all these guys and myself. And we'll be back tomorrow, actually. So we'll see you then. Oh, and tomorrow I'm going to be making a return appearance on MSKs. So that should be a lot of fun. Haven't hung out with that wild bastard in a long time. So looking forward to that. We will we'll see everybody later. Bye.